So this is my second video on lists in Python. After having viewed the introductory view list video, you can view this one on manipulation of data in a list. So in this case, I start off with a range of numbers starting from 0. This is the range command in Python, starting from 1, and with the step function of 1 and ending at 20. So if I create an empty list first and then I populate the list with the append command. Remember, append always adds to the end of the list. So as I step through this range, I keep adding to the list at the end of the list. I'll just clear everything again and show you. So I get the numbers 1 to 20 because that's the range I specified. So you can populate all the elements of a list here like this. Now there's something called list comprehension. So you can apply commands to a list. So this list, for example, that I have, my list is a list of numbers from 1 to 20, and I want to generate another list which is just even numbers in this list. So what I can say is create even numbers with a value x for every x that exists in my list if x, the modulus of x is 0. Okay, modulus of x is 0 meaning x is an even number. So for every x in my list, take an x from my list. If the modulus of x is 0, take that x into even numbers. So this is called list comprehension. So what I did was, for x in my list, I take the first number. If modulus of x divided by 2 is 0, I return the value. So 1 divided by 2 doesn't give me a remainder of 0. So in this case it would not. 2 divided by 2 does give me a remainder of 0. So 2 goes into this even numbers list. 2 becomes this x here. 3 modulus 2 is not 0. So it doesn't get returned here. 4 modulus 2 is 0. So it gets returned here and gets populated. So even numbers, the way I populate even numbers here is I'm stepping through every x in this list and applying a verification check. If this returns true, if this is successful, it returns the value x here. So this is called list comprehension. You take a list, apply some rule, some filter, some query against this list to return values. So essentially the advantage is you run this as a single line command. You don't have to do a for loop to step through everything. You run it as a single line command. This is a list comprehension. Now in my previous video I had said lists by default are not sorted. So I'm going to show you sorting of lists. So this is my even numbers list. I will append two numbers 36 and 24. I'll print the list and then sort it and then print the list again. So after appending 36 and 24, I get those towards the end of the list here. Then I print a list, correct? So this is the first print output. Then I do a sort. I say reverse is equal to true. Okay. So and then I print the sorted list. So this is my sorted list. I start with the largest number and then go down sorted in descending order. So this is how you can sort a list using the sort method applied to the list, and you can have an argument to specify that you want descending or ascending. Now where do you use lists? It's fine, I give you an introduction to lists, how you manipulate lists. Where do you use this? Here's a use case. I build a shopping cart using a list. So I first start off with an empty shopping cart. Then within this list I create a list with two elements. The first element is the word apples or the string apples. The second element is the number 4. Append another element which is a list which contains two elements, bananas and 6. The third element of the shopping cart is a list which contains two elements, milk cartons and 1, and then the fourth is eggs and 12. So I incrementally build this shopping cart. So this is like a website shopping. If Amazon or any website, you might build your developers might have built a shopping cart in this way. Each time a person selects something from the available products, you append to the shopping cart. So I have appended incrementally to the shopping cart, and every append is itself a list of 2 elements. The append could be a list of more than 2 elements. The append could be a single element, it could be a list, it could be multiple elements. So here it is. So first I verify yes, shopping cart is a list, and the entire shopping cart consists of a list where I have 4 lists. First list is element 0 in shopping cart, apples 4. Element 1 in shopping cart is a list called bananas and 6. Element 2 in shopping cart is a list called milk cartons and 1. And element 3 is eggs and 12. So if I want to extract an item from the shopping cart, for simplicity I put everything in one cell, but I will step through this. First I'm going to extract the second item, which is index position 1, which you would know would be index position 0 is apples and 4, index position was bananas and 6. So that's what I'll do first. Then I will extract the third item, okay, as a tuple, that is index position 2 is 1, 0, 1, 2, milk cartons and 1. Index position 2 is a list consisting of 2 elements, milk cartons and 1. So element 0 in index position 2 of shopping cart is milk cartons, and the quantity is 1. And similarly position 3 we will see 0, and when I say 0 to 2, remember the range. When you specify a range of elements in a list, it is not 0, 1, 2, it is 0 and the element index position that ends before 2. So 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So shopping cart 1, element 1 of shopping cart is bananas and 6, which is a list. Shopping cart 2, index element 2 of shopping cart is milk cartons and 1, but it contains 2 elements, so I can return those 2 elements separately as a tuple. Element 0 of index 2 is item, element 1, because the range 0 to means the first element after 0 is quantity. So that is milk cartons here, item, and the next one is quantity 1. Then I do the same for shopping cart element, index element 3, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, eggs. Within eggs, 0 is eggs, and position 1 before 2, because when you specify a range of 2, that means you end at 1, is 12. So here item 4 is item which is 30 eggs, 32 is 12. So that is how you use lists. First you populate the list, and then you can extract elements from the list. So I could have, for example, I could have just extracted apples. Think of something else just now. So shopping cart element 0, right? Within element 0 I want element 1, right? Within element 0 sub element 0 is apple, sub element 1 is 4. So if I run this, oops, sorry, I forgot to close, right? So you have a shopping cart which is a list of lists. You access the first element, which is a list, and within that first element you access the second element index 1. So within the first element you access element 1, index 1. So how do you remove items from a list? So shopping cart, first let me just print the shopping cart. Then I will find out where milk cartons is. In this example, I knew the index position 1, 2, 3, 0. But what if I don't know the index position? This shopping list could be a large list. I have not scanned the shopping list. So I want to look for the index position of this element in shopping cart. So I use the index function and returns the index position. Okay, milk cat, and then I use that index position to pop. The pop command removes an element from a list. If you do not specify an index position, it pops the last element of the list. If you specify an index position, it removes the element at that index position. So this is my current list: apples, bananas, milk cartons, x12. Where is milk cartons 1? You can see this is 0, 1, 2. So milk cartons 1 is a list at index position 2 in shopping cart. So then I do a pop index position 2, and I get an updated list where milk cartons is removed. So this is one example of using lists, where you build a list and you can walk through the list. You can access individual elements of the list, right? You can access individual elements, you can print the entire list, and so on. Another example, I'm going to create two lists, cities and countries, and then I'm going to build a dictionary. Now I have not explained dictionaries, but a dictionary is essentially a set of key value pairs. So a dictionary can be used as a lookup table. So using these two lists, Washington DC is the capital of USA, London is the capital of England, Paris for France, Tokyo for Japan, I walk through the two lists. So let me, for example, I'll not recommend the print command. I'll just show you the print command. As I walk through, okay, first I create an empty dictionary. Capital cities is an empty dictionary. For I in range is 0 to what is the length of cities. The length of cities is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements, right? So from 0 to 4, meaning from index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. 4 elements. I print the I, that is from cities. Print the index position, and then I print the cities. And then I build my capital cities as a dictionary. Now when you build a dictionary, you specify the index. This is the index that I am reading in, and this is the value. That is how you build a dictionary. So for example, here I printed I, then I printed I1, printed I2, printed I3. For each I printed a city: Washington, London, Paris, Tokyo, and then I repeatedly built the dictionary. So I'll just run this again without those additional print commands. So capital cities is a dictionary. Index position. So now in dictionaries, indexing is not by position. Indexing is by the key. Keys here are USA, England, France, Japan. The key and value are separated by the comma. Within a key and value, you have a colon. So let me just test. What is the capital city of England, or what is the capital city of Japan? England is a key, so I look up Python will look up this dictionary. First key is USA, nope. Second key is England, okay. England. So what is the value for England? London. What is the value for Japan? Python will walk through the dictionary, find Japan, and print the value. I can say, for example, print So if I want, what are the keys in the capital cities? The dictionary keys are USA, England, France, and Japan. So these are the keys. So this is how you build a dictionary. Of course, I'm going on from a list, from pair of lists, I'm building a dictionary. This is how I can build a dictionary. So this is one use case for lists. Another use case is this shopping cart example. I build a shopping cart, I extract elements of the shopping cart, and then I can remove an element from the shopping cart. So I will post this code as well to my GitHub page. You can use this code. I ran this as a Jupyter notebook, so I can walk through each cell. If you create this, if you were to take this as a Python script, it will run everything in one shot. But I could, as a Jupyter notebook, I could walk through each cell and incrementally explain everything here. Thank you.